Recording again for the YouTube channel. Let's go. So JT KBG. This is probably the best game of the day, I expect. However, we will see. Already mentioned, don't like Shen. I think he's ass still. Fiora Vi. These seem very similar to the NGX bans. I wonder if JT and NGX were scrimming at all. Or like if they have shared scrim blocks against KBG and they both decided that they don't like these champions for some reason. Ornn, Camille, Volley. Didn't ban Volley against NGX as we saw last time, probably specifically for 0711. So first thing to notice, first pick of the Jax is very interesting. Very high prio on that Jax, not sure why. You can see that KBG also immediately responded with this Gwen pick, which they have been playing a lot. I think it's their little secret pocket pick for finals. I'd be interested to see if it keeps getting played tomorrow, which I will be live streaming. I plan to upload all of these YouTube videos later on my channel. So if you are watching this and it is the 21st of July, or the 22nd of July, I will probably live stream these games early in the morning. EST Alistair picked, makes sense, just the best support on the board. Then you see the Corki Kha'Zix, not a bad starting three here, honestly. Even though Jax is a lot weaker now, I still like him a lot, especially because he can go Riftmaker now, which I think the Riftmaker innovation build is really good because it provides a lot more utility for Jax because he can build AP now a lot more effectively, especially because that does provide a lot of scaling on his W and a lot of damage there with the 9% true damage stacking. I like the Ziggs. I don't think I should have to say why. He's just still very good. Zed, Gragas banned. So banning out a mid lane assassin, I'm pretty sure, I might be tripping, but I believe they played the Zed J team versus RY, so that's probably why that was banned. It looked very good against RY, that's what I'd expect. Gragas makes sense, probably the next best support on the table. Like I said, the SEA supports don't really play Gragas, so that's why you're probably not going to see a lot from them. But the Chinese supports, especially DY, KG, Yami, all very good at the Gragas. Makes sense. Banning the Lucian, saw the Lucian played against NGX in the last game we reviewed. And the Aatrox makes sense, very good champion, very good in the jungle, and a lot of the Chinese junglers like it a lot. We're going to skip ahead a little bit so that I can actually talk about draft a little more. So what we have here is we then have the Zeri. I like the Zeri. I think she's good. I think she's better than Lucian, so waste of a ban. Get owned, nerds. Varus makes sense in response because you likely want to put the Varus versus the Ziggs in bot lane and then put the Zeri versus the Corki in mid. And then for the last pick, they picked the Braum. Probably just hard disengage versus the Alistar. And he's also very good into the Gwen and the Ziggs with his big shield, able to block both the bouncing bomb and the Gwen ultimate. A lot of value there. Also blocks Zeri autos, so that's really nice. And then Xin Zhao last pick, probably mostly because of these two. His ultimate is really good, just creates a lot of space in the team fights, and being able to unable to hit him with ranged attacks makes it very good. Okay, so straight out the gates, no lane swap early. I will be interested to see if there is a single lane swap game this finals because there have been none yet. I do agree with, I don't think anybody said it, but I do agree with the idea that I think it's a lot better in best of 7 where you can sort of try to make a straight up prediction about whether your enemy will lane swap or not and have a better game plan around it. Like I said, I don't like the best of 1 format. I think it's really swingy, so not great there. So you can see just early, DY just checking this bush, probably for a pink ward here, which is a relatively popular spot, not as popular in pro. It's also just not bad to exert forward lane control and control this middle area, because it allows you to leash the minions a lot better if you want to pull them like further this way or further this way. because it can be really useful for Ziggs, who can have a pretty weak early game. So interesting that Varus takes the third ability first. I know that it's relatively popular in more pro PC games, but I feel like you'd rather have Blighted Quiver to match the Ziggs bouncing bomb here. That said, Blighted Quiver, or the arrow is on a longer cooldown. Blighted Quiver, I believe, is a second ability. I believe it's Corrupting Arrow. I'm not sure. That is on a longer cooldown than the bouncy bomb, so maybe you're trying to just get that there. 4 runes. First of all, interesting that Jax is going Gathering Storm. Brutal has been very popular on him. Varus going Triumph means no Giant Slayer on this team, which means that Alistar can stack health safely, Xin Zhao can stack health safely. It's a bit hard to tell if your enemy has Giant Slayer. There's not really a lot of value there. DY Omega trolling with, first of all, these 2 runes. Scorch is really bad. It's not great because you're just not getting a lot of value out of it. I think that the value you're getting out of your ultimate is a lot better, even though you might not be proccing weakness all the time because your CC isn't inbuilt into your basic abilities. You should still be trying to take advantage of your passive as well. Get those crushing blows, get that stun off. I think it's relatively easy given your top side. You're just going to need to make an early rotate. The other thing is, I've already made a video on this multiple times, but Pathfinder is very bad. It doesn't do anything. The amount of effective gold it provides is just less than Demolish here. So Alistar is already ahead based off of the runes. Ziggs, going standard Ziggs runes. Actually interesting here that Kha'Zix chooses the blue ability haste rune over Mastermind. Kha'Zix is really like Mastermind because he can do a lot of the objectives solo, and then just kind of get a lot of that free gold. So it's very interesting that he goes there. It may mean that they're less objective focused. It might also just be a symptom of 0-7-11 losing a lot of smite fights. I was watching the J-Team JDG game back, or series back, and he lost almost every smite fight in that series. So maybe just a lack of confidence thing. I can't tell. Other than that, Gwen going interestingly Nimbus Cloak here. Normally they take Sprint. I'll be interested to see if she has Sprint or if she has Flash Nimbus Cloak. Like Flash Ignite maybe. Not a lot going on here in the early laning phase, just normal stuff. I think that all of these lanes are relatively even. I don't think there should be any stomps. I think the biggest impact we're going to see is the junglers coming in. Again, interesting that Xin Zhao started blue. I feel like he would much prefer to start red, go into the Krugs, the Raptors, and then go to blue side pathing so that you can also path bot. That said, like I said in the NGX game, it might also just be you're pathing ahead to get your Gwen ahead, and you're just like, okay, Ziggs, you're playing solo farming mode. Don't get ganked, just clear wave. Bit hard to tell. Dawn finds yearly award, which is a nice 30 gold. Ziggs is already down a good amount, actually. Like, that's not an amount that is made up by that singular wave. He's down 100 gold already, so already seeing the impacts of just having an early lane advantage. Shouldn't impact him too much in the long run. Once he gets his first item, he can really efficiently clear wave without having to worry about mana. So I'm not expecting to worry about it past 4 minutes. Not to mention, these are pro players. I think they generally have a good idea of how they want to lane. Anran is also really demolishing Corki. I didn't expect the matchup to be that one-sided. But then again, I think Anran is probably the best mid laner in the league. So maybe it's just one of those things. So 0 solo 11. Excuse me while I yawn. So yeah, just a pretty even scuttle for scuttle trade. So nothing really happening early, which is pretty reminiscent of a lot of the games that they played in their last series, in my opinion, where like not a lot of super hot action early. So we will see what happens here. I really don't like this. I think if you're Anran, you have to go earlier here, because I think if you're Anran, you just kind of hold your position here. Like, even though you do get hit by the Braum, I think you just hold. You just, like, he backs up way too far, and then he autos, and now look at the distance between him and Braum, right? Like, that is a very large distance versus, like, I'm gonna leave it on the screen temporarily as I rewind, and he was about that distance away from Braum, right? So this is also, it looks like less of a difference than it is because of the angle that this is at. This is a bit of a weird angle, but the distance is about, I think, that much shorter. Like, there's a lot of distance covered here because he steps back and autos. And then even though he dashes, he's not going to be able to like finish anything off here. No kills. So I think that's just a mistake to step back because you do get the kill there. And that first blood is really nice because you can probably push into a turret or get a turret plate at least. If you can't get a turret plate, you can really, right? Because if you get this first blood here, you can either push this in or you can rotate down this way and gank bot. So you got a lot of options. That's why I think that first blood is really bad that they missed it, because that can really secure a very early lead. And once KBG get a lot of early leads, they really are good at not letting it go and just playing aggressively and maintaining it. And so it looks like Anran just steps way too far forward here. Let's see if it... Yeah, I think... So this scoreboard, like I said with this, I think the Braum's actually about right here. And then he's going to dash to Corki, and then he's just gonna pop his ult onto Anran. And that's just a misposition. Like, he's stepped up way too far forward in the lane here, not knowing where Braum is once Braum respawn. Because like Braum will likely come mid. I feel like that's a very likely option that you have to consider. That said, that is really good because Braum having the gold, it's useless. At least comparatively to if Corki had the gold. Because if Corki had the gold, he can now just bully Anran in mid, but he doesn't get a gold. He probably only gets the assist here, so not a lot of stuff actually gained. So what, 25 versus 26. So that's the difference, right? Versus like it'd be probably 25 versus 28 if you got the kill. Excuse me as I drink a sip of water. Oh, that's wildly unfortunate. So the Corki, as you can see. Hold up, let's pause. Why does that minion die? Hold up. This is actually insane. Why does the minion die? Oh, that is wildly unfortunate. So, as you can see, Corki isn't even autoing. Give me a second to go back a few frames. I'm just gonna go back 5 seconds and then hold up. I'm just gonna see if I can pause right here. Okay. So I keep going way too far forward. Hold up. I'm just going to use the space bar this time so that I stop exiting. Okay, there we go. I keep clicking so I get full screen. But as you can see, Corky isn't even autoing this minion. And look at DY's XP bar, right? Sorry, I need to put it there. Right there. I can't draw a line for God's sakes. Right there. So there's a line. You can see how little XP he needs to hit 5. And this minion is going to die off of the Valkyrie here. So DY is going to hit 5. And then he's going to be able to use his ult right there, like we see, and that kills Anarin, which is wildly unfortunate because, like, you can see the minion dies right there. He hits 5, immediately upgrades his ult, and kill is gone. I don't think he needs to flash here. I think that's bad flash. I don't know if this is one of those, because when I was watching this live, I was like, why did he flash here? That like, there's no reason to, because Anarin's dead no matter what. Like, he's stuck in the. I gotta stop clicking with my mouse. He's stuck in the middle of your ultimate. Like, he's not gonna get out. I think he just wanted to sync timers. I don't know. But that's just a really weird flash to me. We also haven't had any action in top lane, so Bedge. I wanted to see if that Gwen has sprint or not, but they haven't shown it. That said, you can see small difference just because of the kill there. So Alistar triggers phase rush just to enable to get anything out of it. $27, 9 plus 14. So Ziggs will at the very least have Blasting Rod, or Extremely Large Rod, on his next recall, and he will probably be able to complete his first item. That said, he's about 300 behind Varus in CS. So Varus for sure gets ban immune. Ziggs might if he doesn't recall like late enough. Because it'll be interesting to see, because he's a little bit behind. 400 behind, 500 behind. He should be able to make it, but I'm a little bit worried. You can see here, they're not even trying to dive. They just want to hit this turret, get it down to 1900, because once you get rid of that and make that a 0, you get that last plate that you're looking for. Oh, it's less than that. I thought it was only 1900. So they don't get the plate. Really good. Maybe it's 1850 then. Really good stoppage of getting the plate there though. Because that plate is a lot to even up this 600 gold lead that they have because of that kill. Okay, 5 minutes. First items for both AD carries, Essence Reaper for Varus. Normal stuff. You can see the Ziggs has closed the gold gap a little bit actually. And Ziggs has his Ludens, so he's feeling good. Yeah, I think this is gonna be the biggest fight of the game. As you can see, relatively even. So this is gonna be really important for swinging the game. So a bit of a weird setup here, because you can sort of see that J team are like boom. They're set up right here, and right here, and then there's the Corky who's here. So they have like they are very spread out, right? Like look at the distance between all of them on the map. Versus KBG, who really have like a tight group of 3 here, with U sort of splitting, and then they have Anarin who's just kind of sitting on a turret. So I think what's going to happen, if I don't remember this team fight off the top of my head, if I were them, I would go Corky this way actually, like push Corky way further deep, like push Corky in here, into this area, and then just have him come through like this, because he can't safely go this way. Like that's just going to take too long. and you can't go through this angle because of Alistair. So I think the ironic thing here, which sounds really fucking stupid to do, is you just push this way and then over that wall and then you come down like that. However, that is a little bit risky, so we'll see what they have to do here. Because you could also just hover like right here as well. Just hover around that area and then just fight if Ziggs pushes into you. Because now you can see that Kha'Zix is actually the one coming around this side, which is really fucking weird. Like this setup is really weird because Anran's over here, U's over here, Dat Xiaoma right there, and then Yezi's over here. So like, hold up, let's do a bit of switching here because I need to sort of distinguish these separately. Boom, boom, and then you've got, oh yeah, look at our red team, hot pink for Barbie. Like, look at where everyone is, and then just like, what the fuck is going on here, right? Because so these two are skirmishing on this midwave, so they'll be stuck here for a few seconds. They have zero vision on where U went, so they have no clue that he's back here. They just know that he's in this area somewhere, because they saw him over here. I'm pretty sure saw him when he was like right here, and then he just kind of disappears. And he didn't go this way because 0711's over there, and he didn't go this way because DY's over there. And he didn't go this way because Yezi's over there. So they know that he went this way. However, I suppose it kind of does narrow down the... I suppose it actually does narrow down the angles. I was like, it doesn't really narrow down the angles at first, but it actually kind of does. Because if you go this way, you're either just walking into nowhere, like this does nothing, or you're walking down here around. So Pan should be aware of this if they saw UU at all. However, it doesn't look like he's really worried about that. So they spot out Anran here. So, and U goes over the wall. So U goes over the wall here. DY goes this way around to try to like get onto Anran, and Pan looks like he's going around to get onto Anran. But then KBG can just collapse from this angle, even if 0-7 comes in from this way, right? Like there's no continuation here because there's no way to get out. Like you go out this way, right? You go out through the bot lane. I'll more accurately draw it. You go out this way on the map, right? That's how you get out once you do this. But then you just give up dragon. Like you're just giving up Inferno for free. So what is the plan here? You just kind of have to have DY jump over this wall, I think is what. So let's ignore the massive UU play here. So I think the goal is to have DY jump over this wall, and then they can sort of make a front to back with him here and Pan here, and then if Anran comes around back, he'll be at the mercy of the Kha'Zix, who's going to come down this way. That said, UU just gaps DY here and just knocks him straight over the wall. This is really weird to me because I feel like he should have stopped. Because I feel like he should have stopped like right here. I guess U might have just taken a really good angle though. This is just a really nice Alistair knockback. Because two turret shots, about half health. So now DY is basically useless in the fight. Did Pan use Chains of Corruption? I'm checking to see if Pan actually hits a chain of corruption in this game. Because I tweeted this out, but I don't feel like he hit a single one. So this team fight sort of breaks down. Pan is going to get the free kill onto Anran here because Anran got stunned. And then 0-7-11 just decides to do really reminiscent of what I thought they had cured him of. The 0-7-11 of old. YOLO, fuck it, we ball. And just go in. While Yezi is just getting absolutely, like, his ass beat over here. Because Xiaoma has angles here. If Dat wants to come around and jump over this wall, he can. Like, there's no way that Yezi is feeling great about that. To mention, U is just going to get the free kill onto DY. So 0-7-11 just does nothing there. Gets killed for it. I also... like I said earlier, this is not earlier, but it's in the same stream. If you watched the NGX video before this one, like I said in the NGX video, I don't think I've seen 0711 win a smite fight, like just straight up, because he just goes invis here, boom, and he just like it doesn't even hit, like he doesn't even Q smite, he just gets beaten. Like look at this, it's gonna hit 6, 5, 13, 17, 719. So this is smiteable. 453, that's smiteable. And then that just hits the smite. Like he just hits the W smite. And it doesn't even look like 0711 attempts to Q smite. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, that's just weird. So Oo's just kind of hovering here. It looks like he probably should recall. Yep. Like I said, this is a really pivotal moment because it really means that there's no front to back here, and it's also just like this is divine punishment for J Team's sins, because so he did use it. He just missed. There is no way that you can tell me that dragon setup was good. It was simply not. It was a poor dragon setup, and then J Team felt the impact of it because their team fight broke down immediately. Because Jalma feels zero pressure, Dad feels zero pressure, Anran obviously felt a lot of pressure because he died, but what'd they get out of it? 2 low health members, 2 quarter health members. Ooh just cleans up on DY like we saw, and then Pan just can't do anything. Like what do you expect him to do? Like he can do nothing. And as 0711 goes in solo, he just gets chunked out and killed. And so now we have the Herald fight. I don't know why J Team will fight this, because I feel like after just losing the dragon fight, it's 6:30. So if you just stall out for 30 seconds, Herald just gets nothing, because if you don't have plate damage and your turrets are relatively healthy, you're fine. And I don't think there's been a lot of damage done to turrets unless I'm mistaken. That turret die. So yeah, they can probably get some value out of this Herald, at least for KBG, and that turret is also dead. But KBG doesn't need this, right? Because they have Ziggs, and Ziggs is just Herald 2. He's just better. Like, there is no way that a Ziggs team should care about Herald this much. They're just here to win the fight. They just care about killing J Team, right? So that's it. Other than that, again, you can already see that the team fight has broken down. You have 1-2 versus 1-2-3, and it's 3 tanky members. Jalma is back here. He can just ult all the way over here and cover all of this area. And then DY is just kind of stuck here. Like, what is he doing? What is this doing for your team? Like, where are you? Like the team fight's happening here. You're down here. There's nothing happening. Why are you in this area? Like, were you just not expecting the team fight to pop off in topside? Because he just moves down like he's trying to protect Pan, right? And then you can see Pan goes to mid lane. So Pan just goes this way, and Pan is safe because he gets his turret right here. And as Ooh goes up, DY suddenly realizes, oh shit, there's 4 people fighting, both my team and their team, and Ooh is way ahead of me. He's right here, DY is about right there on that, and Ooh's right there at the corner. So yeah, he's just, I don't know why he moved down, because especially right here, it's really hard to kill the Varus, like, because you know where a lot of the people are. Hold up, let me see who shows on vision here. Oh, I forget they take us right out of the replay into this. Okay, so they don't have vision down right now. So 0711 pops the ward down, and then he just keeps. Oh, he steps forward way too much as Dawn 128 puts the sword down. So they're playing the 2v2, so they didn't really know that this team fight was going to pop off, and that's why Uu has the first move. But even then, I feel like you should just be mirroring here, because this. I don't know how stupid this sounds, but this always sounds like a good idea, and supports never do it. But like, if you two are posturing, hold up, we're going on a tangent. What the? No, I don't want paint. MS Paint, baby. Okay. Black. Black will be our map. So you've got Herald Pit right here, or Dragon Pit. This can be whatever. You will be red team. The enemy will be blue team. So if you're red team support, right, you're right here, and you have no vision on 3 blue team members, right? You just know that blue team ADC is down here because he's also clearing the wave in mid. Mid being right there. That's the little barrier, and then we'll draw the grass in right there. Okay. Ignore the shitty drawing. It doesn't look great. Yeah. And then blue support is right here. This is basically the scenario that is just happening on the game, right? And you have no members over 3. You have no vision on 3 of the members of blue team, right? The Zeri, and then jungle and top side. If you're red side and the red side ADC is moving this way, and the blue team support is moving this way, I feel like you should always move this way. I feel like you always need to match the support here, because the ADCs can't kill each other in the 1v1 here, right? Ziggs Varus will never have kill pressure. They will just sit here, and the minions will run into each other. Imagine these are your little minion waves. The minions will run into each other. They will kill the minions, and then the minions will run into each other. They will kill the minions again, because Varus and Ziggs both have insane amounts of wave clear. Now, why I'm saying that? Because if the enemy support moves this way, right, you should always move this way. And the reason I say that is because now it's no longer Ziggs versus Varus. It's Ziggs and Alistar versus Varus. And they can zone Alistar off the wave, or they can zone Varus off the wave, because the Varus can't get close, because if he gets close, he's going to get jumped on by this guy. And so, what you have to do as a support here is you have to mirror the enemy's movements. You're basically playing like ping pong on a 1 meter field. Like, you're just spacing the enemy here. You just want to be like that far away, and you want to just like, if they move this way, you move this way. So like, let me draw this out, right? So, because if they move up here, you just want to move up here, and just, those are 2 big circles, but say move like right there, you want to move right there. Now, for blue team, you just want to move this way. It doesn't matter if you move this way first or second, because you'll always have inside track, because that's how Herald works, right? There is no way that the red team can move there, because they'll be crossing onto your path, and once they cross onto your path, they're in your territory, and instead of going here, your blue team junglers will just go here and kill the support first, and then bounce that direction. Let me draw that out a little better, right? So instead of going, right, because they would be in Tribush, which is right here, they're not going to go out straight this way, because if the support is standing here, they can just jump over this wall, kill the support, and then follow you this direction to kill the rest of the team. That's why I'm saying it's a mistake to not match, because what we see is we see Braum go this way as Alistar runs this way. And so, you don't even need vision on the enemy team to know that, hey, it's a little weird that Alistar is moving top lane. I don't have vision over their jungler, their mid lane, and their top lane. Their top lane is likely in top lane, I can assume that. Their mid lane is likely in bot lane, I can assume that. Herald is the only objective on the map. They will probably be top side. That's why I'm saying this is a mistake. Just to sort of go over this again, right? You can see DY here, he grabs the honey fruit, he moves down. He continues to move down as UU continues to move up. And so you can see now UU has a sizable lead over him because DY is sort of right there in that bottom corner of your screen. Also, to be noted that this doesn't apply with enchanters in case that ever does happen. I doubt enchanters will get played in WRL because they're not built for Wild Rift like they are in PC, but just in case it ever happens. This means the J team also get the Herald because Kha'Zix is dead, right? The moment Kha'Zix dies, you have no smite to contest the Herald, and the eye will always be on the favor of red side here because they can just leash it this direction and then move forward. Again, it's very important if you are playing jungle. Just a little helpful tidbit, because some people don't know this, and it took me a while to figure it out too. If you hit the back of the Herald while it's opened up, it will deal 1200 true damage to it. So even though you might have a smite, it's not necessarily secured if that's opened up. The enemy can walk up and hit that and beat your smite. Just be aware of that. And so I think that pros are obviously going to be very aware of that. Oh, he does it if Chains of Corruption. It does nothing. So yeah. Braum just gets killed there, caught out. Yeah, I'm not liking how DY is playing this game. I don't think it's that good. I think especially this mistake is just an awful mistake. Not to mention he got absolutely rolled earlier by UU. So I think that he's looked very poor this game. If I had to attribute where I'm like, damn, we need to fix something on J team, I think that's an easy spot to look at. I think also that dragon fight is very easy to look at, right? Like if you're looking at this game so far, you're like, damn, where did we go wrong as J team? And I think the analysis is really, we fucked up dragon, we fucked up Herald. And then you're like, cool. They now have a 1.4 gold lead, or 1.4k gold lead. I don't know if this game is winnable. If it isn't, we just go next. You know? And it's not like these are unfixable mistakes, which is why I'm really excited to see what happens tomorrow. Because I feel like there's a lot of room, especially for Nigma, as well, like I talked about in the Nigma KBG game. I think there's a lot of room for improvement for Nigma. I think there's a lot of room for improvement for J team. I think KBG is still looking good. I think there's also room for improvement for them as well, though. And so I'm really interested to see how they adapt and like play a best of 5 or a best of 3 versus the teams that are here. You'll notice I'm not talking about RY, and that's because that team is doomed and should die in a hole. We will get to them later, though. Trust me, we will, and I will lose my mind. I saved that game for second to last because I feel like watching the first Chinese loss at like a WRL event is a lot cooler to finish off on. But just know I'm gonna be savoring that. That second to last game is gonna be sweet. It's gonna be like candy. Really good play by Dat not to die there. Just really good management of turret aggression. You can see he gets out just as he's going to take that last hit from there so he doesn't die. Also, Ziggs is just rolling Kha'Zix in the 1v1. This is never a good sign, by the way, if your jungler gets rolled by a ADC in a 1v1. Even though he is low, like, he just gets absolutely dumpstered in this 1v1. And then you can see that Xiaoma just hits him straight when he's in stealth recalling. By the way, this is a lazy recall. Ziggs will always clear that angle if he's smart. Like, he should always clear that one. And so that's just a lazy recall. It's a bad recall. You should just recall back here where it's a lot safer, or like in this area where it's a lot safer, or even better in this area where it's really, really safe. All of those are a lot better than the spot he chose. So Ziggs just gets a free kill there. I appreciate the Ziggs though. I think the Ziggs play has been very good this game. It's not like Ziggs is a mechanics intensive champion, but like if you can just play him well, he does some of the coolest shit in the game, and I maintain that. I think that champion is fucking awesome. He's definitely grown on me. I still hate Corki though. Corki's a god awful champion that I hope he just gets removed from the meta. He's never been bad. Like, there are times when Ziggs wasn't the optimal pick. I don't think there's been a time where Corki has just been actually bad. Really good repulsion of the dive there from Anran and UU. I'd like to point out, because this is what I thought when I was watching the game, this is a 2v5. Anran and UU are just 2v5ing. Also, the Zeri ultimate, busted beyond belief. You can just see how much that's a single Zeriato right there, right? Like that is a single Zeriato. And so that's about 2 Zeriatos. So that's a very fair champion, by the way. But like, look at this. They just 2v5 here. And they almost come away with a kill. Like, they barely lose a 2v5. I want to explain that, like, even though they do have a massive 4K gold lead, that is ridiculous. KBG are on form, especially for this game. I think that they really, really do step it up when they need to. And I think although they do look weak sometimes, I think that they can very much step it up. We'll see how they look tomorrow, but these guys are the favorites, I think. And I think that any talk of them not being the favorites is just not true. We're going to kind of speed things up here because I don't really think there's a lot more to talk about in this game. It's just kind of a bench game from here on out because it is a 4K gold lead and Chinese teams don't give that stuff up without a massive throw, and KBG aren't really the team to do that. Anything interesting here for builds? Nope. Something that I do want to talk about though, this is more of a current patch thing, but expect to see Redemption played on like 3 or 4 champions next patch if you're going to watch pro games, because it being on a 30-second cooldown, if you don't hit someone, means that you can just use it as a living ward or like a blue trinket every 30 seconds. So I would expect to see a lot more of that if you're sort of paying attention to what the meta is going to be like. Also, just notice the absolute lack of pink wards because they're bad. Friendly reminder. Other than that, anything interesting? Looks like Caustics might be going for like, no way to tell, it's just Dirk, but I like the Yomu first. I think Black Cleaver is probably better second actually, because nobody else is going to build it on your team. Corki does have a lot of armor and magic shred, so it's not necessarily bad not to build it. Cool, I think that's about it. You can see just posturing around Dragon, trying to maintain Uwu in the front with Dat hovering, and then Xiao Ma just sort of further back in the area. He can either move this way to get out of danger, or he can move that way to get out of danger. A lot of escape options, just maintaining that. Ziggs is probably one of the hardest champions to catch and die in the game anyways, so he's really safe. Anran sitting in mid, just staying safe, has the ability to retreat back to the turret if Cossack ever jumps, if Jax ever jumps, so you're fine. I'm a bit surprised that they didn't move this way and just let Ziggs run this way, and then just let the 2v1 go on down here. That said, I'm also surprised that they didn't just do exactly what they're doing right now and then just have Dat hover here, specifically. Let me draw it a little bit better right there, just so that 0711 doesn't really have a great way to run back here. Obviously means you're not starting up Dragon, but if you trust your team to win the 3v2 or 3v3, I think it's better. So, Observer's caught vision here, and I really like it. You can kind of see why it's a little bit difficult to press forward, because it is pretty dark over on this side of the map if you're trying to go around. I also like the securing of the Scuttle. It means that Kazakhs can't try to do any cheeky stuff. Scuttle, if you are aware though, doesn't really show. It won't show Dragon, and it won't show Back Pit. So in hypothetical, Kazakhs could jump over like that, and then just start it up. But I'd imagine that they're checking it every so often to make sure that it doesn't just get immediately doinked. Just clearing out vision again. Okay, and now the team fight starts. So you can see early chunk damage onto DY. Again, J team really separated. 2-1, 1-1. So I really think that this is just a bad idea. I think that you want Dawn over here, like in this area or in this area, and then you want 0711 over here so that he can flank solo. Dawn really doesn't need to flank here. He's not getting a lot of value because his counter-strike is really telegraphed, right? Like, if you flash onto someone as Jax and you have counter-strike up, they can, most of the time, just flash for flash you. It's pretty telegraphed with what you're going for. Does hit the Smite Steal, though, which is really nice. Goes invis, jumps in. Looks like it just gets to about 17 before he gets the final auto. Let's see what we're looking at here. So 537, and it looks like he just hits the smite correctly. Really good by 0711. Like I said, I have critiqued him for not winning the smite fights in the past. That was a really good one, taking advantage of the Kha'Zix's invisibility. If you are playing a jungler and you do like Kha'Zix, very nice for the invisibility to do exactly what 0711 did there. Just run right around pit, hit the smite, jump out. And then really hard for Dat to follow because DUI has the ability to move right around here, and so do Pan and Corki. That said, he does. I think Dat chooses a really good time here, right? You can just see him. He hits the flash over, and then that's highlighted. Hold up, give me 1 second. He hits the flash over and actually just, I think by pure luck, hits two. He hits Pan and 0711 because he just with that flash, I think he just accidentally manages to hit two, which is really impressive. Like, it's just good game sense on going the right way. And then he's gonna try to follow here. Does get the kill onto Pan, but no like sort of follow up onto 0711. And then Zig's just chasing, trying to get anything done. They do have the opportunity to do Baron, maybe. I think not really. It seems like it's really common because this is 2 KBG games I've watched in a row for them to win team fights at exactly like 11:40, where it's like, oh, I don't know if they have time to start up Baron before everybody else will get back, but they might. I'll be interested to see if that's more of a trend or maybe if it's just something that like is a coincidence that just keeps happening to them. I don't know. Just very interesting to keep track of a lot of things like that. So setting up around Baron, chunking out the Braum. I'd expect that he has more logs, but it looks like he doesn't since he just goes immediately for the recall. And then they start up Baron, which is, again, just the advantage of the chunk out of Braum there. Because he gets chunked out, he can't scout anymore. And means he has to go all the way back to base, not having the Warmogs. If you paid attention to what I talked about, KBG versus NGX, I talked about the lack of health building first, and instead rushing the more speed items. And so that's one of those sort of, well, you get what you pay for, and unfortunately that's what you paid for. And then they're trying to take this team fight in mid, it looks like. So the Gwen has a nice angle onto the flank here. And although, right, you can see Alistar gets 2 knockups right here, Gwen has a nice flank around this way, and then the rest of the team is just going to kind of come through here. Either that side or this side, doesn't really matter. And then they're just going to collapse. I would expect this to be basically the end of the game, because there's not really a lot that 0711 and DY can do here. Not a lot of wave clearing potential on both of them. Kha'Zix really solo isolated damage, and Braum is a support, so we can't do anything. And that's the game. Honestly, not a bad game by KBG. Cool.